Greetings, this is Korean Adventure, half-elven YouTuber. And I come to you with yet another, with the second part to my Critical Role Campaign 3 Chronicles House, episodes 29. Last time they came to an alliance with you, the true identity of Dusk, who was a Archon, and came to an uneasy accord with her. Real quick, I do not own or associate with Critical Role. I'm just a fan. I don't own the Twitch.
Welcome back.
You know the rest.
So, in the immediate aftermath of the conflict within Imaharajo's shop, following but sticking close to Bertie Calloway and the path that she leads you towards her next meeting of the day here in Bassaritz, making quick work, and you can assume, based on the conversation you had previously, brief stops into town for reasons like the individual that just tried to kill her. But along the way, you know, she's just keeping an eye out, and occasionally just kind of looking back at you, Fern, and smiling. Along the way, you are welcome to ask any questions that you would like to as you're all pushing through. Where you are in the shop, you'd be heading kind of eastward in a direction not entirely certain where, but she's guiding you through some of the alleys.
We're staying in town, right? We're going to a place in...
Oh, yeah, no, we're staying in town. Hundir's, he's kind of laying low. He had a place, but I think last I heard he was moving towards more of a safe house because he thinks he's also running from some people, different people.
How big of a group is everybody working on all of this?
Well, primarily for what we're doing at our the Calloway getaway, it's just the three of us.
Layaway? Calloway layaway.
Calloway layaway.
Getaway's good.
Getaway.
Well, I can go either.
F.C.G.
But yeah, it's just me and your father and Ira, primarily working out of there, and then we come occasionally and speak to Hondir here, who is in a similar line of research, and we kind of share information, and he has a much larger network of individuals, but for safety reasons, we kind of keep it as stretched thin as possible so people can't be traced and found to each other. We're not the only ones, apparently, who are figuring out some weird shit's going on up there. So we found a network of some folks that seem to be on the right and up and up. They've helped fund some of the things that we're working on, and we've been sharing information a bit. But Hondir, he stepped in something recently, or at least some folks close to him, so he's been laying real low. So we've shifted to, and you see her kind of like lick her finger and kind of start looking at the skyline. I think it's that one. And you notice she's pointing to the storm cisterns, the large metallic towers that kind of wind up throughout the city, kind of looming over the various buildings and neighborhoods, these massive kind of multi-textured iron and metal constructs that collect the monsoon waters and keep it for the townsfolk and the various farmland that they can barely manage to maintain within the city. But
real quick.
Busy med and there's a
Looks at Imogen, sends her a message.
So,
Should we tell them about Odon?
worry.
What if
What's
that's
worry?
who they're referring to?
Getting worse.
Like as far as Hondir goes?
Well, the people who also know.
I mean, we should probably tell them.
Okay. Okay.
It's getting
Holy
worse.
crap, are we nerdy?
Match the volume.
All of us.
Traps, honestly.
It just said pass the salt.
They're quite friendly.
following very long to the base of one of the large cisterns, which kind of looks under it and looks around the outside. And inside one of the kind of doorways that marks one of the entrances to the exterior pattern of the cistern, she finds one, like, cross mark on the metal and kind of feels for it. All right, this is the right one. So we're going to that maintenance shed right there. And you can see it maybe about 15 feet from this entrance to the cistern. Not the cistern itself, but across the street, there is what looks to be a small, kind of ramshackle wooden shed that is closed and kind of buttressed against either a warehouse or some sort of a nondescript building. You're uncertain what the interior of it holds. But she kind of looks around quickly, ushers you all over to it, and there's a little kind of pocket alley aside where it's shaded, and she kind of dips into it and invites you all to come join there.
I'm just gonna look at the marking before I head across. I just want to look at what she was looking at to get an idea of it.
From what you can see, it looks to be two kind of metallic scrape marks, like someone took sharp metal and kind of dug grooves into the metal that form an arrow that kind of loosely points in the direction of where that shed was.
I know Orm's got his eyes open, but can I use my keen nose to smell for any fae in the area, a multiple number to denote what we might be walking into?
Certainly. You can go ahead and make a perception check with advantage.
17.
Okay. You both feel fairly confident that at the moment you are not being followed. So, there's that.
Okay. Any additional smell on the wind as we approach wherever Birdie is taking us?
Okay. Nothing catches your attention at the moment. Now,
Those veggies.
you approach the shed, and it's there's like as you come across, you can see there's a kind of a second floor above it with a middle platform that's kind of ragged, and the wood is kind of fallen and rotted in, and you can see it looks almost like hands, like the way that the balcony edge has kind of crumbled into itself. And stepping below into the side of the alley from beneath it, into the shed, Birdie goes ahead and opens the door, looks around, and then dips inside the shed and kind of invites you all. As you all begin to step in, you realize the shed is maybe like 10 foot by 10 foot.
Oh, wow.
And so she's like, I usually just come here myself, so you just hold on a second, and if you...
Everybody, hold their breath.
If you just get out of the sun at the very least, or hang off the side till... And she pushes one of the chairs and scrapes it over and kind of pulls some of the dust back from the ground, and you can see there's a trap door on the bottom of this. She kind of
Big room.
knocks. Hello? Hon, dear? It's Birdie. Hon, dear?
Why do I hear more voices? There are more foots. I think you're being followed.
No, they're with me.
Who's with you? Are you fucking me?
No, just...
So low-key.
Look, we need...
That's the first.
Look, we've gotten to kind of a situation here, and we're, the time that we're running on, and I think I have some folks who are at least curious about our work.
Let me see them.
And you hear... The trapdoor pushes over, dust kind of clouds out in the space a little bit, and you immediately see there, like standing beneath this kind of hunched, crotchety-looking goblin who has this like massive monocle in one eye, and the chain that kind of dangles down and is attached to a lapel pin. It looks like he's wearing a nice jacket, but it's just covered in dust and it's tattered at the edges, like a semblance of high dress that has been worn and enduring the elements of some time in Bastos. You immediately get the sense that this individual either wishes to dress above their station or is definitely not from the city. Kind of glances up at the monocle.
So this is, you trust these people?
Well, I mean, I kind of have to. It's my daughter, Fern.
Yes.
Hondir.
Hello, Hondir. We're very trustworthy. You can trust all of us very, very much.
Make a persuasion check.
Or deception. I'm going to give for deception.
Oh, wow, that's... Okay. Hold on. Seems like that's too high. I'm really sorry.
2 numbers.
Perception, you said?
Put them together.
Persuasion.
23.
23.
Wow.
Persuasion or
Persuasion.
Okay,
22.
22. Kind of gets up a little further in the light. Now that you can see more light on his face, you see this like kind of jet black Van Dyke that goes into like a gray point at the bottom that kind of fizzles out a little bit. Like, And he kind of like adjusts the monocle and glances in, kind of squints the other eye, goes,
Yeah, it does look like your daughter, I guess. The rest of you look as rough and tumble as anyone from the city. Just so you all are aware, I'm happy to bring you within, but also I have everything ready to explode. So if you do anything, I take you all with me.
Holy shit! Holy
Come
shit!
inside.
he kind of turns around and hobbles back down this like advanced kind of wooden ladder that kind of creaks with each step. And you all look down, and from the bright light that's outside, it just looks like a dark pit from where you are. Do you all enter after Birdie?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. As you enter below, it takes a moment for your vision to adjust to the low interior light, because the only light source you have in here are 2 lanterns, and now a ball of light that kind of fills the space within. Here, within this little basement area, it looks like it was once a storage region of this shed, but it's now been, it's a little hidden sanctuary. In the way that a prepper that thinks the world has ended is hold himself away, and there are just bags and satchels of different types of dried food and goods to kind of keep him going the whole time he's down here. You see some books scattered around. You also see there are a number of crossbows that are kind of bolted into the ceiling with ropes attached to them that all swing back to one large chair that's facing the entryway door.
Nice.
And he has it kind of like tied off to the side, and he's,
Oh, just be careful not to trip on this. It'll be very bad for somebody sitting over there. And also,
and he begins pointing out, and you can see there's, the dynamite sticks that you purchased.
Oh.
There's at least 12 or so that are
Yo.
embedded at different areas within here.
He wasn't lying. Ah! I smack Imogen.
Why?
Watch out for your fireball. There's dynamite everywhere.
What
Fireball?
Yeah, a little light.
the
You made a
fuck?
fire.
It's made of electricity.
Oh. Sorry about that. Is your face okay?
Why did you just slap Imogen?
Why didn't want to kill all of us?
Wait, why would you do such a thing?
Chet.
Use your words, Chad.
Thanks.
Carry
First, you
on.
don't even make me a toy like you make for everybody else, and then you slap me across
Well,
the
yours
face.
is quite intricate. It's got more to it than the others.
I haven't seen you working on it at all.
It's a slap guard.
That's part of it. It's the mystery.
anyway, please, somebody,
Carry on.
somebody close the hatch behind you, please, if you do not mind.
It's gonna be
I have an
a
important
force,
question.
isn't it?
Yeah?
It's gonna
What's
be.
your take on kidnapping children and using them in experiments?
That's terrible.
Right to the chase.
Terrible,
I don't
right?
do the- well,
Terrible. I look over at
You're
Birdie.
not doing it, are you?
It's terrible, Birdie.
Are they
You hear that?
kidnappers?
And Birdie's like,
No, they're not kidnappers.
No.
and yeah, I didn't know that he was doing anything like that. I didn't.
Inside check.
Inside check.
Make an insight check.
Come on.
on that.
Balls.
Yeah, I read right through you with an 11.
Oh.
Natural 20 for 21.
Yeah. Some whispers.
Whispers.
But I threw away the piece of paper that has the thing I'm supposed to say on it.
Whispers.
It's way back there. Something about D&D Beyond and Spelljammer.
Check it out.
D&D Beyond / Critical Role.
Where's Sam Riegel? We need to get him back.
Wow.
God, that's how this night started.
Yeah, it did. He could be anywhere right now. Speaking of shape changers.
He's probably at home. Like, hey, honey.
Hondir comes to rest in the chair and kind of like reaches over and grabs like a small stone that he's just kind of fidgeting within his hand as he kind of glances over at each of you with the thick monocle.
What's the stone look like? Is it just like a
make-
worry stone, or
make
does it look
perception
like
check.
some more of this gnarl rock, or
Every
perception?
stone is like
Every stone is.
Everything's from the Pharaoh.
Yeah, that's good. So 19
Doing
for
my
a
job of
23.
making you all paranoid about everything.
Yeah.
23. You glance at it.
Chairs,
It
rocks.
looks like a smooth river stone, but it has what looks to be some sort of a groove run into it. It's not dissimilar to what you guys had commissioned for the large bomb. It's some sort of, what you gather, a similar detonation device.
Did we use that bomb?
I don't think we did, but our
didn't use
car kind of. I don't know if the bomb went off when our car just got slammed
It did not.
It didn't.
Thankfully.
All right, great.
Did we
so
retrieve it?
yeah,
Still-
then it's
No, you have your
we
car. It's
it.
being repaired.
No, the bomb.
No, the bomb is still in the vehicle.
Oh, we left the bomb.
Oh,
So you didn't
gave
say
them
you
a
took
heads
it.
up.
All right,
I'm
you
gonna
know
send
something
them our
transportation.
drones to know
Whoop.
to, like, defuse the explosive device.
It's not set.
That's it.
He's used to that.
He's
stuff.
mechanical.
You hear this bassy note.
No.
The ends is no longer in Bathros. No. So, as he's kind of holding the stone, he goes,
Now, which one of you are faithful?
Faithful?
Faithful.
What?
To like a spiritual god of some sort?
Yes, what you pray to.
Actually, do we have us
Are
pray?
I'm a little beholden to the moon, but that's about it.
I believe in people. Same.
Yes, we are
Okay,
zealots of humanity.
this is a good answer. I like this answer.
takes the stone and kind of rests it a little gently into his pocket.
Wait. We need to unpack that. What was the wrong answer?
Don't worry about it.
Oh,
So you are all here with Birdie. I am not used to having guests, let alone new faces. So please, I ask for your understanding in my anxiety.
What does he smell like?
Okay. Smells like some heavy goblin body odor.
Got it. What it looks like.
Right. You do pick up in the room sense of like black tea, as well as the familiar smell of explosive material, old books, and like a fresh smell of like old charred paper and wood.
Cool.
That's what you pick up.
So, Birdie, we're okay to talk in front of them.
Yes, it's okay. Talk. We're as you can see, I think I have almost enough. Hopefully enough. I don't know. I'll have to talk to Ira about it, but we're to try and get as much of this device done. Just so you folks are aware, kind of what I was working on. Now that we're, she glances back towards the hatch. We're in a less public space here. So from what I understand, and take over, please, if I start meandering off this, but like there's a lot of these things that run across Exandria. It's called ley lines. They're kind of this net of magical energy, and they at various points that are referred to as nexuses, fantastical things can happen. Sometimes this is where doorways can open to different realms. This is where certain rituals can be extremely potent, and specifically at certain times of the year. Right?
This is correct. So, there is a unique network of ley lines across Market, specifically within the Hellcatch Valley, or at least recently there is. Things are shifting, and we believe this to be the sign of an upcoming apogee solstice. So there is a thing called celestial solstice. Every a few decades, there is specific alignments of astral bodies, and specific energies tend to overlap and create a synchronization or harmonization of powerful entities. And what it does is it then makes these nexuses even more potent. This is used for great and terrible effect, depending on how history wishes to look at it. But the apogee solstice is a rare thing indeed. Historically, these solstices are so powerful as to often rewrite the face of these lines across Exandria, which is why the study is continuous. Looking through history, the makeup of Exandria's lines has changed many times, usually surrounding one of these events, and we begin to notice some of them shifting. The timing is not perfect. The mathematics are vague, and it seems there are many reasons we don't fully understand as to when or how it happens, but because these shifting of lines, some of my compatriots and I have come to believe that one of these is imminent. And the math that is clear puts us about a month away.
Are we close to one of those nexus points?
See, that is what we're trying to figure out partially for what the Birdie is helping with. this device that they are working on. How do I put this? Our research has required some of my compatriots and I to acquire bits of information that put us at risk. And in doing so, we have to do a lot of our work in private. I am not the person who likes to work from the shadows, but there are political powers across the lands that would like to be both the forefront of this information and eager to misuse it for personal gain.
So there are other people that know about it.
There are others who have inklings, perhaps. I myself
Looks back to Birdie. You tell them it's my daughter, and they could have killed me earlier. They've actually staved off one of them on silly taps.
Okay. I'm a graduate of the EOS Sanctuary.
The you.
EOS Sanctuary.
EOS Sanctuary.
Or seminary, my apologies. When we began to discover this theoretical pattern of this coming solstice, and the places of unity began to work in a way where our theories were pushing it towards the Hellcatch. Meaning at the time of the solstice, we believe that one of these nexuses will be relocated somewhere here in the valley. And as part of this information, we began to discover other political interests that were also trying to shut down our research, that were speaking with some of the higher-ups at the seminary and getting our departments closed down, having our funding pulled, being told to walk away.
Are they really trying to stop it, or are they trying to control it?
I have reason to believe that the interests lie more in the latter. So, a number of my compatriots have been continuing our research on our own. Through private funding, investors, allies that we had, but even they've begun to dry up, or worse. Anybody who's been tied to our work has either gone missing or befallen tragedy.
Does the name Grim Verity mean anything to you?
You look and see an immediate sense of acknowledgement and briefly worry, and then an exhale. Yes, so you indeed know more than you let on. I am one of many members of the Verity. I say many, but there is a handful still around. We've lost members as of late.
Loomis twins.
How do you know about the Verity?
We don't know much.
And change the context of the scene a little bit.
Yes, go on, please.
Please stop them.
You're looking at me strangely.
To be honest, it kind of feels like we're chasing. Go to the end.
I'm ready.
We're trying to follow a trail. You didn't by any chance know the Loomis twins, did you?
You knew them?
They were more recent members of our band who, unfortunately, their excitement got them in places that they should not have been. We tried to protect them. They were very, very bright and had the right mind for truth and to expose the truths that many wish to keep hidden. But I think their search for knowledge, unfortunately, their lack of experience left a trail.
I'm trying to find the people who slew them. They got in too deep. As you say, do you know anything about
the Grey Assassins?
Yes.
They've removed at least half of our members in just the past couple of years. We were once a comparably sprawling network of a good 40 or so academics from all over Exandria. We were trading notes, we were sharing reports and theories. It was an exciting thing. We were looking to be published. We were seeking elements, threads that connected beyond just the study of those astronomical. But then doors began to close. And some of us got frustrated and began to push back. And that's when we started losing him.
What? You saw the Grey Assassins in person, right?
Some of them. Across the ocean.
What did their armor look like?
The Grey Assassins is apt. They were wrapped in really dark colored leathers and ragged cloth. Nondescript, their faces covered. You could barely see their eyes. And when they died, they left no trace. They melted away in front of us.
And those same assassins have been picking off people who are talking about this solstice or the ley lines?
They've been picking off members of our community. And I don't know who else.
They tried to get your Wind Queen, right?
Took a shot at it, yeah.
What does she have to do with ley lines and...
Who are you speaking of?
The ruler of the air, Shari, and Taldori.
I'm not familiar with this person, but I don't call anyone of this type within our membership.
If she were a member, I don't know.
Maybe.
Takes off the eyeglass and starts it's like fogging up a little bit and it's like sweating and you start wiping it a bit.
Do you know anything about them? Do you know who they are?
I do not. I have not seen them, thankfully. Though I had a close call recently. The whole reason I'm down here. I was living elsewhere, but I was out actually meeting with somebody from Eos at the boundary of the jungles, and when I returned, my house had been destroyed, turned, burned, and so I remain here.
So, you all, the Grim Verity, are prying in to Ruidus.
Yes, among other things.
Someone doesn't want you to do that, and then you're doing... And I look to Birdie. Start over from the top when blades are not drawn. Walk us through what it is that you guys are doing here.
That's fair enough. So we're not the kind of folks that were usually interested in this sort of strange oracle visions or, science-y bad stuff. We just kind of, got by. We enjoyed the occasional revelry. We enjoyed the occasional prank. We took what we needed, but never left anyone in a bad spot that didn't deserve it. Made a reputation that sometimes we were proud, sometimes we weren't. But, that was how life worked on the outskirts from where we're from. It was on one of our excursions out here that I decided that after some frustrated conversations with a few folks that we didn't like so much back home, we wanted to bring you into this world. So we took a little vacation out here, and we held up in the verdant expanse of Taldori and just watched the stars, and after I gave birth to you, something weird happened. Had a weird red moon that I didn't really know much about. It just kind of lit up suddenly, glowed brightly. The entire forest was given this kind of crimson hue I'd never seen before, and it was ominous but weirdly beautiful. And you came into the world screaming, and we thought it was a beautiful omen. And then we began to ask about it and heard maybe that wasn't the case. And began kind of looking into it a little bit, and there was a tumultuous history about this Ruidus. But, you know, thought maybe it was a fun prank someone was playing on us. Then Ollie got into a bad patch of some root and herbs, as we like to gather and imbibe in, and kind of went down a bit of a mental rabbit hole for a couple days. But when he came back, he had this terrible dream, we thought it was. This idea that same red moon that brought you into this world was following us. And when it was going to find us or find you, it was going to, well, he saw that red just eat away at the Fey realm. That light just burn it into dust. And we thought it was a dream, but then within the next year, it showed up briefly in the sky. And some folks around that we were familiar with and lived on the outskirts like us saw it too, but then it went away. But we still felt it was there, and so we started asking questions. We got laughed out of the Sealy Court. We got laughed around, and then we went to the darker side of the Feywild, and there, once we passed a certain threshold, there it was. Like that moon was being obscured.
What do you mean?
Meaning some sort of unseelie magic was keeping others from paying attention to it. We got real curious as to why. And that's when we found this. Me and your father are real good at getting around unnoticed. And so we started poking around. We started looking for why they were doing this. Because we thought it pertained to you and your safety. And we saw this meeting, this clandestine sort of gathering of some of the higher court members. And they were meeting with some folk not from the Feywild, dressed too nice and terrestrial, like a flare. And they were all in the process of designing this machine that was focused towards the red moon. And we just got a bad feeling about it. We didn't know what it did necessarily, but it couldn't have been good, right? That was what Ollie had seen. And so we began to inquire with the Unseelie and tried to warn them, not let them know what we saw, but we don't normally deal with the folk over there. We've had a few dealings, you know. Things are a bit fluid over there when it comes to interests and alignments, and Ollie just kind of laughed it off, but got real aggressive in pushing us beyond the borders. So we got enough gumption, had a couple drinks, and broke in and stole what looked like the shiniest piece of that machine and ran. By the time we figured out what we had, Moodtine Crown, we realized this was a little more intense than even we were expecting, but something that powerful was sitting in the middle of the machine. Maybe it slowed them down a bit.
This is the Moontide's crown?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's we have in our machine back home right now.
And you're going to make the same machine that you thought was so evil and
No,
dark?
this one's more on a discovery mission, from what I understand. Using the same power. Best I know, I mean, you can back me up.
Ira's building it?
Oh, Ira and Ollie are. He's picked up a lot from Ira, and they've been kind of working.
How can you trust that he's not just doing something awful with it too?
See, the thing is, even someone with dark inclinations of him, he gets his joy out of his work. And he's come to see that he can't really work if there's nothing left. If we're right. And he's been a little listless since the Apex War, and, you know, kind of locked out here in Exandria for a while. He's the only person we knew that we could have any sort of communication with that had the knowledge and experience that we need. So, I mean, believe me when I say it wasn't the best moral arrangement.
Sorry to distract. Apex War?
I've heard about that a couple times.
I was making sure everybody was caught up.
Straight as thrown.
Something that happened around here like a couple decades
ago. Yeah, it was a big scuffle between some of the kingdoms or whatever. I don't know much about terrestrial politics, but I know that Ira was hired by one of the sides there and kind of
Was hired.
yeah. He gets hired by a lot of folk.
Do you?
And so was that
Those
gray-haired
Exandrian people
She worked for the
that you
Stratos
said
throne.
you saw.
Mm-hmm.
What did they look like? Did you see a woman with gray hair kind of over to the side, intense armor?
Yeah, like a red cloak.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, she. You know this one?
I know this woman.
Yeah, it was her and another
Yeah, she's in the south.
Another what?
She's
person.
here.
And what did they do?
I mean, Ollie got a better look on that one than I did. I know he was Elven, but older. I don't.
She's
I know.
here.
Oh.
That woman, she's here.
Do you see the goblin like, she's here? She goes like grabs the stone and like.
Not like right now, but she's in Basarus. She's running the Paragon's call.
I see her in my dreams.
Otahan.
Ooh.
I don't know this person, but if they are nearby, then maybe I need to relocate again.
Yeah, okay. Yes,
The army.
I think so.
That you see.
What if they're the Grey Assassins?
I think that's exactly what they are.
Because they have gray hair?
No,
No,
they're all
wow,
dressed
just-
in grey.
I've told you about what I see,
You
right?
said she had a red robe. Wait,
And
what?
she had a red cloak.
Oh.
I see a woman, and behind her, there's so many people, and they step out from behind her more and more and more, and what if they're all connected?
There's no way this is a coincidence.
It's getting harder to deny.
Absolutely. And if she has the ability to greet you in your dreams, that's obviously an ability that spreads far beyond just you, right?
Hondir turns to Bernie and says, "Do you think these assassins are from Vasselheim?" I don't know.
Vasselheim.
You stole it from people who were trying to do you don't know what exactly. You've taken the same to do what exactly? To
Well, initially it was just to slow them down, to keep them from doing what they were doing. But then as we held this crown and knew that it held some strong power and connection to the moon or moons, maybe it could be utilized. And we got turned around, and a lot of folks didn't want to deal with us or were looking to just steal it from us, to be honest. Once we started asking around, the only person we knew here in Exandria that had some sort of fake connection, that would see reason in the interests of uncovering mysteries was Ira.
So you're just trying to find out as much about it as possible.
And hopefully find a way to stop it. Because right now, we're just going off of what Hondir and them are gathering. Hondir kind of just glares out at all of you.
Hondir, do you must know someone named Ebenalt Kai?
I know Ebenalt, yes.
Well, we've never met that person, but
Astani.
yeah, Astani told us.
I know Astani. He's retired some time ago.
He retired?
Retired some time ago. Is he still alive?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. It's a good man, Astani.
These ley lines. You know that there is a strong connection in the Hellcatch Valley. Do you happen to know if there are other pathways across Marquette or even the rest of Exandria?
I mean, there are many ley lines everywhere. What's worrying me is, and I have to check with my compatriots, but we've done a few calculations, and it seems like the apogee solstice is going to be largely focused over Marquette when it hits in a month. And by the shifting of these ley lines, there are 3 possible locations where these nexuses might be. And we won't know until we're closer. And what Birdie has been working on hopefully might be able to shed some light on that. There's
what
no...
are the three options?
The other twos we're looking is, one might be in the Panagrip Sands. And one might be in the ocean northward of the Odiran Wilds.
Or Marquette is the third.
Or all of these places are in Marquette. There is north of the Odiran Wilds.
So Panagrip Sands, the ocean north of the Odiran Wilds.
Here.
And here in the
Here
Hellcatch.
now.
The interesting thing is for those of us that utilize instruments to research things about Ruidus beyond just visual presentation, magical instruments, there is an obfuscation. It seems to evade any sort of probing device to look on any sort of magical understanding of it.
What does? What does?
Ruidus.
You mean like it actively evades, or just something about its nature?
Just something about its nature, or something in the skies above Exandria just obfuscates any intent to do so. This has been recorded in many books for many years, though not openly discussed, because the populace tends to be very superstitious, and there is hope to not bring anxiety to the populace with such things.
Someone who understands these things more than me, how is the moon appearing in a different world than ours? Do they share the same sky somehow?
Well, you see, the Exandria, this prime material plane, and there is other realms that are different, very far, elemental planes and, positive, negative energy planes, such. There is the Fey realm, where you are from, and there is also a Shadow realm that are both very close and almost overlap. They are the most immediate realms of transference, if you were to travel beyond the realms of Exandria. But they share a different cosmology, or at least are removed from Exandrian's cosmology. The only reason that there is a Katha moonlight within the Feywild is because the Moonweaver's essence is tethered to that land, and so there is essentially an image of Katha that exists in this world.
But Ruidus is finding a way in.
Indeed.
So maybe there's some divine entity allowing it?
Oh, yeah, divine maybe. Divine's a touchy thing.
For you?
Looks back towards the hatch.
Hard to say divine.
You already... Look.
If it's new, it'd be hard.
My life is in danger. Many of my compatriots of the Verity's lives are in danger. The more you know, the less safe you are.
On the divine gate.
Yeah, plus most of us are like 1 foot in the grave anyway, right, Laudna?
Oh my goodness! Ha!
Yeah, if there was anybody you should feel comfortable confiding in, it's us.
Chet's not wrong. To be honest with you, we sort of are like really entrenched in whatever we're compromised. Yep. We're already in the shit.
Make a persuasion check. With advantage, because you did help.
I pulled her hair out.
Yep. Yep.
I helped. I pulled
Persuasion with advantage. Well, there's. Oh no, that's a 19. Oh, that's great. 23.
23. That's pretty dang good. Kind of looks at you. You can see his hand shaking a little bit.
Are you sure you want to know this?
Yeah.
Well, fucking now I do.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't lead with that.
I'm ready to just leave. Yes.
Looks to Birdie, and Birdie goes,
There's been another recent finding that has focused and redoubled the Grim Verity's efforts and interests as of late. A member of ours who is a researcher in Vasselheim discovered ancient texts from as far back as the founding. Some of the earliest written records of Exandrian history, kept deep under lock and key in the temple vaults of the Dawn City. And because of this information, the ire of the highest temples are upon the Verity, upon myself. But this truth is important, both pertaining to this scenario and just for the world to know. While the study needs to continue, the Verity believes it references in the highest temples that there is a time before Ruidis. There are texts where Katha was the only moon above. A period of time in the founding in which Ruidis did not exist.
Wait.
When was the founding again? Is that post-calamity, pre-calamity?
The founding was when the gods came to Exandria and created us, everything.
And there was no moon then, or it's no second moon.
It was just Katha then.
So who put the moon there?
That's the question. This is one of the things that began the heavier studies into the Omen archive. The other thing is apparently some of these texts refer to two gods that don't exist in the Pantheon.
What?
And haven't since.
Are they
Forgotten deities.
imprisoned?
God. Is one of these like the original Death God?
Do you know if they're good gods or bad gods?
I don't have them. They are in Eos with trusted folk, I hope. I have not heard back any word in the past month.
The texts.
Yes.
Wait, the two forgotten deities are in the texts?
The texts refer to them.
The texts refer.
They're not in the book.
Do they have names?
I have not seen them.
So Rue disappeared when those deities disappeared.
We don't have a specific timeline, but the texts seem to refer to a similar era in the founding, and we very much theorize they are connected somehow. But you see why the knowledge of this information is very much guarded secrecy in the Dawn City.
Who has the texts?
We do.
Your people, or
The Verity does in Eos. I don't know specifically who.
so?
Part of the reason that we don't know is still, if they were to find me, they could not extract that from me.
And do you think folks other than the Grey Assassins are trying to find these things?
Probably.
Who would want to stop the spread of knowledge like that, though?
People who wish to keep the historical records of the prime deities controlled to the populace.
That's just about it, really.
It is very challenging to keep people engaged in complete faith to the most ancient of temples if they have kept such information from their followers.
If I can ask, so, Birdie stole some shit from the unseated court, that's in the Fey realm, and they're all coming. Okay. These texts from the Dawn City, Vasselheim, oldest of them all.
You've been there, right?
Yeah, many times. I vacation there in my 200s. The bathing pits are amazing. Did these texts, were they taken with permission or without permission, and was there any loss of life in said removal of text?
They were very much not taken with permission. And there was no loss of life at the time because the individual that escaped with them
did so safely. It did catch up to them, and they are no longer with us. But the records were passed on to other hands since then, and their sacrifice is remembered, and hopefully in time when this can be revealed to the world at large, and if it is tied to these portents that Bertie is speaking of, and we can stop it, and he'll be remembered as a hero by many more people beyond just us.
It was very heroic, but I just want to track it. So we got people from the Fey Wild trying to come after us, and people from Vasselheim coming after the texts.
Yes.
Are the
So you're screwed.
I told you, this was dangerous information.
I just wanted to know what league we were playing in.
Grey Assassins an entirely separate threat? Or are they out of Vasselheim?
I don't know.
You know.
They could very well be out of us.
Everybody wants.
Is there anybody else involved in this at this point? Like the Shadow Realm people, are they having ruinous issues too?
I don't know. You have to talk to Rin. There's a member of the Verity who, their specialization is in traversing various realms.
What's their name?
Rin.
Oh.
What? Who?
Rin?
That's right, Landwalker Rin. Wait, who the fuck? Wait, hang on. I wrote that down.
Who's that?
DM recap.
Planewalker Rin.
Planewalker Rin. Oh, right.
Hang on,
Wait, how do we know them? How do we know them?
Hang on.
Another campaign?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you briefly went into a laboratory in the Fireplane in campaign
That was theirs.
2. That was theirs, yeah.
That's right. And they were stowed away. And they were in hiding.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
That's a fucking cool
we
name.
don't quite get a big problem.
So these texts, they were stolen from the... Where were they taken from
The
again?
temple vaults under
Yeah.
Vessel.
Specifically,
Yeah. That
specifically
event
the
that
Temple of
calling that
Arathis in the
that
Gothrods.
did not be.
But I'm certain that they... there is a unity amongst the temples there. And so it's very likely that they are all searching for us. And to an extent, if you're not careful, now you.
What does Odahan have to do with this? And why is she at the Paragon's call right now?
I do not know. But I would be very careful.
Is she a soldier?
She was a famous warrior for the Stratos throne in the Apex War. Then went missing.
Right. I remember hearing about this.
The Loomis twins had texts stolen from them. Granted, not from Vasselheim, but from the academy.
You said pages were taken from... Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the Loomis twins had texts that had information about my mother that was stolen by the Grey Assassins. My mother was also Ruidus-born.
Huh. Also Ruidus-born.
And she,
Like you.
And she has dreams, wild dreams about a large storm and a
Both
red
of them
storm.
look at each other. Look back.
They're connected.
What was your mother's name?
Liliana?
Liliana Timhold.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Do you know her?
We've met, though it was a while ago.
Not a while?
It was a while
A while ago.
She was a number of our, how do I put it? Our volunteers for part of the Oman archive study.
Yeah.
See, there are Ruidus born all across Exandria and have been for as long as the moon's been out there. But the rate of Ruidus born births has been slowly accelerating in recent times. This was part of the study in the archive, not my specific study. I was more on the line patterns, and all of us kind of comparing and aligning notes for this. But I do recall that there are occasionally rare Ruidus born that exemplify a stronger connection with the Ruddy Moon.
How long ago did you last see Liliana?
Gosh, it must have been 12 years, maybe.
12 years?
I've been away from most civilization for a...
Where was she when you saw her?
She was in Eos. She came to the seminary to be part of the research. She was gifted with incredible capabilities. She was able to see beyond her eyes. She was able to affect the world around her in incredible ways. She was one of a few that had come to us exhibiting these powers.
I look down. Is there a bottle or anything on the ground? I'm just going to pick it up and drift it over to him.
And it seems that line of fortune seems to follow on your path. Ah, I am so sorry.
Why would you have to apologize? I mean, these are gifts.
They are, but it horribly connects you to all the things that are coming.
I think we have a half hour left in the until they
So
stop.
fucking much.
Oh, yeah.
Birdie kind of chimes in. No, like I said, a lot of this I couldn't say in front of that you. Hopefully you understand for what reasons why. There's a lot going on here, and a lot of it even I can understand. It's a little bit beyond me, so I just have to focus on one task, and the task we have is trying to get this strange telescope thing all figured out. And, hopefully that'll help answer some questions for us, maybe you as well.
This is good.
Where is the device you're trying to make it? And I'm sorry, do you have that crown thing with you, or is it with the device?
The crown's in the device. It's
Where's that?
It's in our layaway.
You said it's a telescope?
It looks sort of like a telescope, yeah.
You said like 40-ish miles away?
Yeah, to the east.
And
Towards the hell couch.
just remind me, because I want to make sure
Deeper.
everybody's on the same page. The EOS seminary is where?
In Eos.
Which is like
It's
2 to
far.
3 days.
Guys,
Southeast into a Shenandoah. It's through the
It's like-
gloom
Got
jungles.
that?
It's like a week's travel, isn't it?
Southeast.
Or it's not-
Approximately, yeah.
Yeah.
Through the gloom jungles.
You have a map
that
The
connect.
Gloom
somewhere.
Jungles,
map.
which is... Isn't that where people you know is?
Yeah, the
I'm
Gorgonite.
gonna know is.
Gorgonite.
All right.
This is a lot.
This is so much.
This is great. This is great. We're totally not bringing additional danger towards you and your project on your rushed timeline.
Not at all, and I'm certainly not bringing any more danger into your continuous lives and the life of my daughter by telling you all this extremely dangerous information. God, what have I done?
But wait,
No, it's really not your fault. We've been looking for you, and
it sounds like what you're trying to do is worthy and noble, and why wouldn't Fern want to help?
absolutely.
It's honestly still a bit confusing because obviously there are people who do not want the boons and the gifts that Rudis can bring, and then obviously those who do, and perhaps a subsect that just wants it all secret.
Are we all forgetting the mad fucking scientists that they're trusting with this bullshit?
Honestly, that is why Ira? Like no one else on the face of Exandria.
Speaking
You
of
had
people who would kill us if they found out that we were involved.
Was Ira really the only one, the best candidate?
In the time frame that we had, it's the only person we knew. What, we're just going to walk up and keep asking around for some extreme scientist to go ahead and trust a couple of fey folk to help them build a machine with a crazy... No, like, doesn't work that easy. And the only person we knew that had a connection with, some distant history and knowledge of their capabilities was Ira. We knew he was here like us, and it took some talking to convince him of the stakes that were here, but we managed to kind of see that, we all benefit from not letting this get out of hand.
You prepared for the day he flips on you?
We've been keeping our eye best we can. The trust isn't 100%.
Good.
We all have an aligned goal.
You don't have to tell us, but do you have like a code you're working with your most trusted? I mean, only because Dusk, you could just look like anybody. And it feels like the closer that we get to this, it feels like they all do the same.
Just like you mean like a word to
Like a
prove?
code, yeah. If you could just before you check in and put all the pieces together and push go, just make sure everybody in the room's who they say they are. That's all I'm saying.
Do you have a recommendation?
Yeah, bring me along.
That's the code.
That's the
And
code,
have
bring
you
me
there?
along.
Yeah,
Bring me
yeah. You
along.
need eyes and a nose to make sure everybody's legit,
Well,
bona fide.
that's you can't be
Everywhere at once. You don't know that I'm hundreds of years old.
Well, with you bringing this lens from Maury, hopefully this will get us a lot closer to that a lot sooner. And I don't know if we even have enough energy to run it, but we're getting close from what Ira and Ollie been saying. So
that's what all of these little bubbles and.
oh yeah. And she kind of pulls it over and opens it up a little bit. And you can see it glow, kind of under lighting her. She opens it up. Yeah, the machine as it's been designed takes a lot of power for short bursts of time, and so we've been having to kind of squeeze even Mahar Joe for as much as he could bring in that wasn't being pulled off into side projects, and just kind of through both process of experimentation that's been kind of draining him at times and such. That's kind of what I've been having to do these runs for the past year or so.
Do we recognize any of this tech?
You recognize this specifically. These are the blue kind of crystalline spheres that you saw powering on different sizes and scales many of the various automatons throughout the city, the various crawlers that you actually rode, as well as running some of the devices that Ira was running back in Drusar.
Well, what do you need to make this thing happen? What can we do to help?
Well, maybe bring that along.
Fern?
Well, yeah, but also the little green thing.
Oh, I mean, that's easy enough, but
I'm assuming
is that
you
the
want
only
to-
piece that you need?
I mean, this right on my back, and we'll check in. It's a lot of like trial and error and like trying things out. If it doesn't work or don't have enough, bring back. It's
And are you hoping that the weave lens tells you information when you look at Rudis?
I guess. Well, this is not my prerogative. This is what Maury was supposed to build for us. That's what I reached out to her for.
Okay.
I just wasn't expecting her to send you along with it, but
Does it have
happy
a
to see you.
cost when you use it? Like, do you just turn it on and look, or is there something expended, or?
I don't know.
Okay.
Does anyone other than Ira know how this thing works and what it does?
I don't think, other than Ira and Ollie, I don't think so.
Great.
And why would your grandmother send you?
Because it's gonna
Well, I guess she's not my grandmother, so
Well,
Maybe she knew you needed to see.
maybe.
let me at least express that Maury's as close to a grandmother as I had. She kind of helped watch over me when I was younger and didn't really have much guidance. Kept me on enough of a leash as I needed, but let me loose enough to figure out what I was good at. Kind of twiddled her fingers a little bit. But she's an odd duck in her own right. I had a little worry that she'd take a shine to you since I left, and I'm still trying to figure out this weird time thing, but, her fane is her domain, and she can tweak and stretch things as she wills, so...
She did it? She kept her there for 100 years?
What may it seem like it, I don't know. I'm going to have to start talking to her about it, because she was just supposed to keep you safe, and...
Who can do that?
A traveler could do that.
I mean,
The Maury may not be like
I love her very much.
but maybe at least
Oh,
in
she's-
Archfey.
She is my grandmother. She's all.
Well,
She raised me
there's a reason why they
for
named
these
her
years.
Morrigan, I
So-
imagine.
I guess she told me it was a very important piece, and she told me to find my parents, and if I did, I'd give it to them. But so I found you.
That she did.
Did your grandmother ever make you any toys?
Kind of.
Anything that was like special and just for you?
I think probably the postcards. I don't think you sent any postcards.
No, we specifically didn't want anything to lead back to you while you were over there and we were here. For obvious reasons, kind of gesturing out to the recent encounter at Imahara's.
So these These are probably not from you.
I'm sorry, Fern, they're not. But I can guarantee you they would have been if we could have, if it was safe. And kind of alleviates some of my frustration with Maury, knowing that she cared enough to make those, I guess.
Yeah. We've had a really fun life.
She can be a little selfish.
She can be selfish.
She fixates things on she likes.
Well,
You
And I
said
guess we should be
yourself-
glad that she let you go.
Yeah.
You've said yourself that time is a weird soup
Yeah.
in Fey realm and whatnot.
Yeah. I don't think it was her fault that so many years have gone by.
Maybe not. I don't know. I just know that the reason we knew you were safe there is because people know better than to go in her domain.
Yeah, she is pretty powerful. Well, these are still special.
Sure.
Very well done.
Yeah, they're very beautiful. She's an incredible painter. Very artistic.
So you have what you need for your experiments or whatever, and it's dangerous to be around you, I suppose. So do you need protection, or should we just leave you alone to do your experiments, or?
Oh, I have to back up, obviously, if these assassins have come so close. And to be honest, how safe is your domain? You've got room for a small goblin, maybe?
Domain?
I think it's pretty safe.
We have
Is
a
there-
black hole we could put you in. For only about 10 minutes at a time, though.
It might kill you.
I'll just ride side saddle. If you have room for a goblin, I just need to grab a few things.
Also, one last question. We sort of stumbled upon Ira's laboratory a little bit ago, and he was sort of packing it up, and then it kind of exploded, and
Okay.
where did he go? Where is he now? Because we last saw him in Drusar.
Right, no, that job folded after a while. He was working for
Yeah.
Coin over there and came back with what he was partially paid to help fund all this, and just kind of pulls up the change purse he started bringing the gold out earlier. It's like, and he's been helping us work the machine, so he's back there, I think. At least he wasn't when I left.
Yeah, he's 45 miles away
He's
from
45
here.
miles away. Okay, right.
Well, you can
That's-
ask him yourself.
Right. Yeah, it's this. Okay.
Well,
So we're heading over there, is where we're going.
If you want to, I mean,
I would very much like to see this contraption.
it only takes a few hours. We can be there and back by sundown if you
Few
need
hours?
to.
How?
We got skirmishers.
Oh, well, they're still being fixed, I think.
They might be
It'll
done
take a
by
couple
now. He
hours.
said it would be about an hour and a half.
Oh, what time of day is it?
I'd say by now it's about noon, since you guys woke up kind of early, and all this kind of happened first thing in the morning after waking up.
Besides, we could go wait for him to be finished. I'm sure Fern and Birdie have lots of catching up to do.
Yeah.
We could rally back here when we got it fixed up and
Or
ready
read
to go.
over at Joe's.
I won't be moving at full speed if we're putting on this larger crowd on each one of them, but we can get there. It'll be faster than walking, definitely.
Should we have Joe make us some sort of like flatbed cart to drag behind one of them or
It's not a
something?
bad idea. Little trailer.
Yeah, because there's, I
Maybe
mean,
you
they,
can hold on to one,
I'll
and
be
somebody can
fine.
step onto your back and ride on top of you.
as long
you
as I
have,
don't
like,
have to be
little-
glued to something.
Yeah, no, never again.
That probably work, kind of like just pull you behind.
Yeah, I'm okay, but you know, it only sits 2 people, and we got more than
Well,
that.
it sits 2 people comfortably, and then you could probably fit 3 or 4 on there, but it's going to drag a little bit, but it's still better than walking. And then if you're
Sure,
saying
but
you can
you're, I
carry a
mean,
person,
you're somebody's mother. You got to get like a nice seat.
well, I can cuddle up with my daughter.
She's very large.
So am I.
How tall is
Oh.
Birdie?
Well, I'm very small.
Birdie's about
Well, you're heavy.
a little over 6 foot.
Easy.
Not quite as
That's
tall
water
as
weight.
Fern,
I'm a chonker.
but still like, you know, taller than a lot of you in this troop at least.
Yeah.
Well, here, grab the stuff you need. Guess we're waiting on your repairs. We can can meet up. Maybe not outside of Imahara Joe's, since what'll be a good place to meet up?
Where are we staying again?
We can meet up at the dumbest place possible.
A taste of Taldore.
We'll meet you at a taste of Taldore.
Oh my goodness. We're not eating it, we're just meeting up, right? Okay, no, that makes sense. That's safer. It's safer. Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll carefully and quickly grab my bike around the time, lay low until then, just in case someone's watching. And then I'll meet you up there and we can tear off
15 minutes, maybe? Until
Sounds good to me. Gather your shit. And he's like, oh, of course I will. I just need a couple of things. And he grabs like a bag and starts like throwing some books into it, reaches over and grabs a big map and rolls it up, puts it inside, grabs a couple other pieces of goods in a small like hand like jewelry box and puts it inside there. Grabs some coin. Shall we?
Sure. Yeah. Are we supposed to go meet Paragon's call
Yeah,
and capture a guy for Esteros?
Yeah, but this isn't we're not going to be gone
Not today. Well, I thought it was today.
We're supposed to meet them today.
Are we supposed to
Because
meet them
today's the
today?
morning of after the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, also, we're meeting up with the person who was sort of working with the guy we're supposed to capture.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 minutes. It's like 20 minutes.
Did we split up or anything?
15
or-
if you don't count, like,
We just do
maybe,
order of operations.
maybe around 15 if you don't count,
He said it's only
like, in gallery
hours
and
out. It
stuff.
could be a
like,
day
back
trip.
and
They,
forth
you no longer
Yeah.
see the cast.
Go head over to
Right,
Paragon's
we're
call by evening.
Show up and move in, right? Wasn't that the idea?
What was the idea?
Right under the nose of Odahan, who is most definitely behind all of this
Absolutely.
ruinous shit.
Yeah, but so what? We don't have to be nervous about that, right? There's one of her, and there's how many of us?
And well,
It
actually,
kinda
one of
sounds like
her
she's got,
plus
like
half.
thousands of oogie boogie shadow
Not
soldiers.
mentioned, not
One Shadow King and a
mentioned.
bunch of us, and it didn't go that well. Nightmare King, Jesus.
Those were early days.
Yeah.
All right. Let's head out.
All right. So, taste Taldore in a few hours, I guess. I'll hang here and help him finish up packing.
All right.
Just out of curiosity, this thing that we're gonna go see out there, it's a telescope-ish thing?
Well, the device is all underground.
But I mean, doesn't it have to work at night?
Not the way this is built.
Oh.
We're meeting in a couple of hours. Are we just trying to get situated with Paragon's call?
No, I don't think beforehand, right?
We're gonna go
We're gonna go
look at
there
the
and
telescope,
then
come
come
back,
back.
and then Paragon's call. But what are we gonna do with the telescope? Just look at it, see what it is,
Well, I think Imogen.
see if it works.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
And to talk to. Maybe Papa Ollie will have some insight
more
for you about
information?
dreams.
I'm gonna
Or...
assassinate the Nightmare King. It's a big busy trip.
Well, he's the guy building the thing. We can't assassinate him.
Bill comes due, motherfucker.
Maybe he's not a maybe he's a nice guy. Maybe it's not Nightmare King. Maybe we're just saying it wrong. Maybe he loves horses, so he's the Mare King, but he works at night, so he's like a Nightmare King. He loves horses,
That's a bit
just
of-
like
Oh
Imogen.
my.
Boy.
We have so much in common.
Yeah,
Why didn't we
makes
ever
them by
just talk
sewing children
before?
together.
yeah.
That makes sense. I'm sure that's what it is. Can I give you a hug?
Oh, I love that.
Okay.
Kind of pulls you in, lifts you up a little bit, and whispers a little bit in your ear, be like, I've missed you.
Missed you too.
I'm gonna just see if either are picking each other's pockets.
Oh my god, that would be so much fun. They're both
mutual.
picking each other.
I'm gonna try to give a pick.
Go ahead and roll.
Go for the ring. Go for the ring.
Okay. That would be a 24.
That definitely succeeds. What's your passive perception?
Where'd it go? Oh, sorry. 17.
17. That also succeeds. Okay. So, within her pocket, you pull a handful of coin. You can see, like she didn't come with a lot of materials necessarily, but you get a handful of coin that feels pretty dense. And specifically, 15 platinum.
Ooh.
That is dense.
I feel
Give
it
us a
in
check.
my hand, and then I drop it back in the pocket.
Aww, that's cute.
What do you have in your inventory?
Let's see what we got.
Don't take our hole.
In my trinkets.
Yeah. Just pick one at random.
I will. I'll pick a random.
Use that hole.
Okay. Let's do.
Close your eyes. You have to close your eyes so you.
Okay. A golden skeleton key.
She pulls it out and goes, I'll have to ask about what this goes to one day.
I have no idea.
Perfect. A mystery
We'll
for the
find it
ages.
someday.
Gives it back to you.
Thank you.
All right. So with that, we're going to gather their things. You all go ahead and take some time to check up eventually on the repairs. And about 2 o'clock in the afternoon or so, Imahara Joe finishes up. He's like, well, not the best job I've done, but functional through and through. Here you go. Your
You get some more water.
your crawler should be ready for travel on however you need.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Appreciate it.
No, of course.
The bomb that was on the back of it.
I wasn't going to ask about that. We get all sorts of weird shit that people leave on their crawlers for repairs, and we just do our job and move on. You know, kind of. Plausible deniability has really helped our business flourish over the years.
Did we need to add a little card or anything to it?
Oh yeah. Did if we wanted to pull a couple of extra folks behind us, is there like a flatbed with wheels and a tow line you could rig up?
I can probably attach like a 2-person little hanging trolley in the back. I will ask probably not to go too fast over any sort of large inclines, or the crawlers can go pretty quick and do some pretty decent maneuvers, but just you'll kill everybody in the back if you try them. So, and also those feet are clawed. So.
Oh yeah. Should it push in front instead?
That's worse. So yeah, I can fashion something. Let me see what I got. And it goes in the back, and you can see there's like a number of disassembled wagons and stuff. And there's one that's like a small wagon. It goes ahead and quickly shears off like the front few feet, and it kind of has like a almost like what's the word I'm thinking of? The
Like a chariot? Or
kind of a chair, or the
Wheelbarrow?
what's it called when the person in the front is biking and you have the seats in the back with the wheels?
Oh, like
Rickshaw.
Rickshaw.
It's kind of like a rickshaw attachment, but it's all made of like kind of jagged metal and like a little wonky. The tires, like they've been patched 6 or 7 times.
Great.
But brings it to the front and says, no charge. And then she goes ahead and hooks into here. And he goes and makes something it hooks into. Just kind of like spot welds it essentially into the back, hooks it up. This is kind of sturdy. Once again, don't no crazy tricks. Don't kill the people in the back. But this will last you a month maybe.
Oh wow!
Do it.
Thank you.
Of course, no worries. Please don't fight anymore in my shop, if you don't mind. That's okay.
We'll really try
sorry
not
about
to.
That was just an accident.
Sorry. Again.
It's okay. Just it could have gone worse. Could have gone worse.
We just didn't know the person that we were with was not the person that we thought we were with. So.
That happens all the time here. Just note that there are a lot of things that are volatile and unstable around the shop, and that could have been a lot worse.
Sure.
Anyway, good luck. Travel safe. Need any other repairs? Anything else? Any other interesting questions? If you just want to come by for a cup of whatever you prefer to imbibe and talk more about
Oil?
your history, let me know.
You drink like liquid metal? Do you think that would be yummy like tea for you?
That's an interesting. I don't know. Let's try it sometime.
Hot cup of metal.
With that, you shove off of Imahara Joe's place, gathering up the bike. And the bike where Birdie had originally parked and kind of left it there, kind of set to the side, is now missing. It's gone. And for a second, you're a little worried. But as you begin to kind of walk your crawler through the streets And as you go through, a few folks kind of cheers. They recognize the vehicle that you had won the previous Death Wish run, and some folks are like, yeah, that was awesome. Well done, that was crazy. You know, like just giving some shouts, a little bit of like fan yells to you.
That's right.
Wait, no,
You
that
see-
one. That's not the one we have. We have the Red Moon with us.
You see this?
Anymore.
Because the buck
We
bucket.
only go by winners' names.
That's true.
A tall, lanky male tiefling with kind of like red skin walks by with like the dark sun tattoos in the elbows, kind of like getting ready to growl as he kind of slinks back and looks over and sees. This is the same one that kind of like stink-eyed you when you first came to the city as you were entering Bassaris. And he walks by and looks at y'all and goes, "That was incredible. That was so awesome. Well done. I look forward to maybe seeing you out there next time there's a Death Wish run, huh?" Walks by, keeps going. That was so cool. He just keeps going down the street. Eventually, you steer your vehicle over to the exterior of the familiar kind of Tudor-style ridiculousness that is the taste of Taldore. And there in the shade among the alley towards where the back is, you see the front wheel of a skirmish crawler. They're kind of settled and parked inside. And sitting on top of it as you approach, you can see Birdie, helmet on, goggles on, jacket at the ready, a kind of like heavy scarf kind of thrown over the back, and she just kind of looks out. "All right, y'all ready?"
Let's roll. Let's do
this.
Fern, and who else feels like they can make room for it, hop on.
We're going to small. Well, we got a lot of people on either one.
Who's coming with me? Got me and Fern room for maybe 2 more, depending on size.
I'll go hop on.
All right. Who else?
And I'll go. Form's not going.
I was gonna hop on F.C.G.
Okay, I'll go.
Hop on F.C.G.
Like
Hey, you have your little pedals.
Segway style.
Sure, sure.
Okay.
All right.
Just got you that new tire. You're gonna fuck
So
it all up.
FCG's riding behind Birdie, right?
I
Because the
guess.
wagon is behind.
Well, we don't need the
the
wagon
buck
anymore, it
bucket.
looks like.
It's up to you guys.
Well, do I have the wagon all to myself?
Yes.
You can.
All right. So,
good.
so on one, it's Birdie and Fern, and then in the back it's who?
Well, I'll go hop on the wagon.
Okay.
Okay, so it's
So-
the 2 of you in the wagon.
Yeah.
It is janky while it's not moving.
I'm driving that one.
Okay, so you're driving that one, and then it's Birdie, Fern, and then who?
Chetney.
And then Chetney on that one.
With me and Orem doing
Segway.
You got
behind
it.
water ski behind it.
2 Callaways all to myself.
As the controls click
Bit of
in
a
and
handful.
the blue
2
glow of the
handfuls.
power crystals beneath begin to hum loudly. The shaded interior of the alley where her skirmisher crawler is parked suddenly lights blue around from underneath for a second as the kind of hum turns into a growl, and you watch as the 2 legs kind of like prep behind. The wheel begins to spin as dust begins to kick up and the legs kick off. As the crawler skirts around the outside and the hum turns into from a purr to a heavy, loud, guttural growl. Takes off down the street as you follow up behind it. The 2 crawlers then begin coasting down the streets, past buildings, rounding the side, heading down the straight eastern thoroughfare in the center cross streets of Bassaris, then coasting out in an eastward direction, following Birdie's run. You can feel kind of like the familiar kind of comfortable flashback to like clutching your mother at a young age, like childhood flashbacks, but now she's here in front of you, and it's just an odd flash memory. And at one point you see her kind of look back through the goggles and smile before kicking it up even more so, and the front tire kind of picks up a little bit before slamming down and pushing forward. The back cart of your guys' bit as you're going around the street. Yeah, you're driving behind this one. You're like, whoa! Hold around a bit. The rest of you, Imogen and Laudna, you are holding on to the back and going.
Christ, oh God, no.
Sorry. Some folks, of course, watch you guys as you go by, and passing through a number of streets and winding alleyways. Eventually, you pass to the exterior gates of the Carmine Curtain, the large red walls that mark the exterior of the central part of Bassaris. From there, you careen through the skids, evading any sort of ruffians that are standing in the middle of the street as folks kind of like, oh, dart out of the way as you just kind of scream on by. And then as the skids begin to eventually dissipate, there before you, the open, cracked, dusty expanse of the Hellcatch Valley.
Yeah, that's what we got.
You push forward, leaving but a trail of dust in your wake towards the horizon.
And that's
where we're going to finish the episode. We'll pick up there next time.
Boy, we are
like 5 minutes.
on the road again.
We're on the road again. Man,
Holy shit.
there's so much left to do in town.
20 minutes.
There's a lot.
We got a couple things going on.
Back before the streetlights go off.
I don't know what to focus on.
Yeah. Unless we all die because Nightmare King kills us.
I want to organize my notes.
I bring this home with me after the end of every game, and then I'm gonna organize it out.
I don't get to it.
Exactly, this is my lifeline.
Where we go?
Not my Horcrux.
So much information.
We got a lot of
Quick
info.
addendum.
Quick addendum.
Quick addendum.
You pull off for a second, and the birdie goes,
What? This is
oh,
some abbreviation.
fucking wait. Hondir.
Oh, yeah,
Smash cut to them. You all exiting the city a second time with Hondir on the back, going like, I can't believe you left me behind. This is stupid bullshit. And just cruise off into the distance.
Very homegrown.
Very, yeah.
Okay, that's it. Wait, stop. Rolling
Middle
credit.
end.
It's the movie.
Five.
Wait. No, here. How
Set
could
up next
you?
session. See where it goes.
Holy moly.
You guys are amazing.
What a fucking session. Erica, we love you.
Erica, we love you. It's so awesome. Thank you for joining us. But until next time, we love you very much.
Thank you.
Is it Thursday? Good night.
Well, we've got so many revelations and information stuff. I did not expect Dust to get out of this alive. Still not sure if they actually were all in that room at the end of last session, so they may have cheated a little bit. But I can't say for certain. But anyway, I thank you for joining me. This is Trina Ria Metra, half-elven YouTuber. I wish thee good fortune. Best of luck.